and I will let you know when it is live. It's live.
Yay! Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. This is Brenda B. Bailey. Welcome. I know that it probably doesn't surprise y'all that there are some technical difficulties. I know, surprise, surprise, with everything that's going on right now, right? So, thank you for your patience. I know we're running a few minutes late, but we'll make it worth the wait for sure. So, welcome to the Theta Healing Power Hour. As always, I invite the coolest people, the people who are in the know, influencers that watch these, tag people, share it with people that, we're talking about dreams going into action. So this can be in any area of your life, but of course, we're always talking business here on this, including other things that somehow help you with your business. So what it looks like, we always meet at 1-ish. We'll say 1-ish today, Central Standard Time, because we're getting into Standard Time here in the next week, I believe.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a great interview. And then at the end, we're going to do some Theta healing work around what has come up, what has been said, what has been discussed. So, but our theme here is dreams into action. So let me introduce you again to my featured guest, Miss Rosanne Reid. She is known as the Dream Monetizer. She coaches individuals to birth and monetize their dreams and consults with startups and existing businesses to create and implement growth and launch strategies that profit. So the CEO and founder of Be Free Marketing Company, the Dreamers Marketplace, and the Break Free Exodus movement. She is an international radio host, best-selling author, certified public speaker, lifestyle coach, and certified global business consultant. And she has 4 children. She doesn't put this anywhere here, but I'm going to tell you, 4 children as well. She is an advocate against, oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, is it in here? Advocate against domestic violence. She is a wife and mother of 4, and with over 20 years of international business management. I know she doesn't look like she does that. She has 20 years. She looks young. Experience and features in national and international media. So not just national, but international. And she is a woman who's overcome extreme life challenges and trauma to now rise and stand with loving open arms to guide you in the path of achieving your biggest dreams and living a life at your highest potential in balance and abundance. So welcome, Miss Rosanne.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Brenda Bailey. I am so honored to be invited and happy to be able to share the platform with you today.
So not only do we get to hear about her words of wisdom, we get to hear them in her beautiful accent. I kiddingly said, I love working with Rosanne because I love to hear her talk. And I said, maybe she thinks the same thing about me. Who knows?
But yes, that's for real. Like, yeah, because that's one of the fun, the fun things about working globally is, dealing with persons from different countries and hearing all the different unique accents. So yes, I do love it.
So Rosanne, let's go ahead. Let me ask you, so what do you believe is the biggest thing that holds people back from achieving their dreams?
Okay, so the biggest thing I think that holds persons back is procrastination. And that is synced with a lack of confidence and a fear that they may fail in succeeding, and also fear about what other people is going to think about them. So when you actually tie down all of those things, it comes back to fear, like different reasons why they are fearful. So a lot of people have a lot of good ideas, and I always say that this grave is the richest place on earth. The cemeteries of the world is the richest place on earth, because so many people go to their grave not having realized their dreams because they were afraid of what might happen if they tried to launch out to succeed. So instead of saying, okay, let me just work with what I have and keep doing this thing, trying this thing, taking action, reaching out to those who I think can help, and moving forward with it, a lot of people sit down waiting on somebody to hand them a silver platter and procrastinate, when all you needed to do was just take one simple step. Yep.
Absolutely.
One simple
That's
step.
I think that's well, and I think Roseanne and I are on the same page with this because I think we both love Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, that's my Bible after the Bible. Like for business. So the
So,
Bible comes first for me, but then next after the Bible is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Like literally, I have read the book multiple times. I have the CD set with the hardcover book, which is in my car. So I listen on audio when I'm driving to appointments and stuff like that. So yeah.
so she's also giving you some tips of what a successful person does, but I will tell you, as a woman, it's kind of hard to read. So there is a Think and Grow Rich for Women by Sharon Lechter, but
Mhm.
I digress. The reason that I
I know
brought that
about that
up
one
was
also. Yeah.
is because there's a story in there that talks about a guy, I think it's called 30 or 60 feet from gold. And
Mhm.
people get so close to what they need to do and then they stop. And
Yeah.
it typically comes from fear. I mean, Roseanne like hit it on the head. And also, this is the thing too, is that you think that you need to know everything.
To
Like,
make it
okay, so
work.
I'm going to do a business and I need to know everything in order to
Mhm.
run it. No, you don't. You
Mhm.
just need to hire somebody who does.
Yep.
But also, too, you also just need to, um, sorry about that. I took that pause because I just was like, what else? You also just need to take the first step.
Yeah.
That's the big thing is that people think they need to know the whole plan. So they need to
Right.
know how it's going to, you just need to know where you want to go, right? So we need to know where we're headed. We need to be intentional, but you don't need to know every step. So you don't need to know the whole plan. And
Right.
you just need to know the next step.
And then to add to that, you need to have faith and believe that what you need will come even if you don't have it now.
And this
Believe
is the
that
biggest thing, right? No, Roseanne
yeah.
was absolutely, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're getting excited about this now because this is a good, juicy
Hmm.
topic. So again, tag people that you feel like need to hear this, share it because you know, what they'll hear and the work that they'll get done at the end, whether you're watching it live or you watch it in a replay, will benefit you. So,
Yeah.
and this will be maybe that you're like, well, I know this, and you're like, are you doing it? And maybe you just need to hear it again. Sometimes, right? Whoever your divine power is, they let you hear something 2 or 3 times for you to pay attention.
Hmm.
So, what are we saying that maybe you've heard before that you needed to hear again? One. And then two, just what's your next step? And when we're talking about faith, that's the big thing. And that's where I help people, is because people lose faith. They've lost trust in themselves. Maybe as an entrepreneur, you're going to make mistakes. Spoiler alert. I'm just going to tell you.
It
And as
doesn't
a human
care. It doesn't
being,
matter what you do about it. It don't matter who you hire. It's just a part of the journey. Like obstacles will always happen. Challenges will always come. You're bound to get a flat tire somewhere down the road. Somebody's gonna get sick. Somebody's gonna die. It happens. Just work through it. Around it. It's part of life.
quarantines are going to happen,
Yep.
recessions are
Pandemics,
going to happen.
recessions, depressions, the whole world.
Right.
I mean,
So,
something will like one of my favorite quotes, I have several, but one of my favorite ones is that Jim Rohn said is that seasons are always going to come. You will always have summer, fall, winter, and spring. The seasons will always change. There's nothing that we can do about it. It's just how the earth is made up. Change will always be there. What is going to be the caveat is whether or not you react positively to change and use the things that come with change to fuel your dreams, your passions, your desires, and living in purpose. So, yeah.
and that is such a true statement. And I always say that, studies show,
Mm-hmm.
and I say this over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
more millionaires are made during a recession
Mm-hmm.
than any other times in history.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to buy in, okay, the beautiful thing about social media is that we have a lot of information available to us, but you've got to censor what it is that you're reading.
That's
So if
right.
you want to buy in to like nobody has money, nobody's spending money, Rosanna and I both tell you that's not true, right?
Yep.
For us. So it's probably not true for other people. And it's probably, wouldn't be true for you unless, again, we're very, um, people don't realize how powerful they are. And if you think it, it is so. So
And how
we're
powerful your mind, like your mind is, like we have more control than we even think we do.
absolutely.
We're
Now,
just not
again,
activating it.
Theta Healing will help you not have to edit it so much, and will also allow you to be able to have those thoughts that really serve you.
Mm-hmm.
But, in the meantime, you got to take a look and you got to be willing.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the thing. So, Rosanne, what are the 3 tips you can share to help people birth and monetize their dreams? So here we've been talking about like what you're doing wrong. So now tell us, what can we do right?
All right. So the first thing they need to do as it relates to their dream is identify as it relates to birthing and monetizing their dream, because anybody can have a dream. What you need to look at now is how viable is the dream that you have. So that's the first thing. Is it something that people need, that people would value, that people would be willing to pay you for? So once you figure out, once you come up with the idea, like, okay, people love chocolate cupcakes. Okay, if they love chocolate cupcakes, you can't just go and put down a chocolate cupcake in front of them and say, take this. So you have to figure out, okay, if this is the dream or the idea that you have, how can it add value to the lives of the people that are around you? Because you want to turn that dream into a wealth creation system that will generate recurring income for you, right? So the first step is identifying, okay, now that I have something to offer, what value does it add to the lives of persons, right? Or how can I package it or deliver it? Set it up in a way, put it in a business or a product or a service, a non-profit organization, a ministry. How can I set it up in a way that it would add value to the lives of other persons, right? So that is the first tip. The second thing is, when you identify what your dream have and how it adds value, then you create a plan of action to make that dream happen. So next thing like to call it the blueprint or the execution plan. You create a blueprint. That's your roadmap to where you're going to go. What are you going to do along the way? So for example, if plan A doesn't work, so plan A was, I want to have a TV show. Okay, so if something falls through with the TV show, what's the next best option to a TV show, a YouTube channel, right? So if you're looking at the dream, you need to have a plan and that plan needs to be a plan, not just for the first year of making that dream happen, but what's going to happen in year 5, year 10, what's going to happen along the way for the dream. And in that plan, you put everything that you need to do. Who are the resource people you need to have? Do you need mentors? Do you need consultants, right? If you don't have money, what are your funding sources? Or if you have money, what's your plan to use that money? Are you going to spend it all on Facebook ads, or is it better to spend it on a team or spend it on ambassadors and marketing? So those are the different things. So number 2 is plan of action. Number 3, okay, is to make sure that you have a group of persons who are supporting you in making that dream happen. Because you can get any amount of money, you can have a fabulous plan, but if you don't have a network of people with the right mindset to keep you grounded and to show you the steps that you need to take along the pathway to make that dream happen, then you're going to fail. If the environment that you're in doesn't support that dream, okay, so that means that you need to make sure. Now, Brenda told you earlier all the things that I do and that I'm a mother for. I'm not a superhero, but I understand the power of using systems and teams and of being in the room with the right people, of having mentors who have gone there before me, to understand that I need them to help me to get it done, to keep me accountable, to keep pushing me in the right pathway, to understand that, okay, if a shift is happening in my life or in the world right now, to help me with their expertise to keep moving it along. So that is one of the major things that's important that a lot of people miss, is having the right people in the room. Telling you dream to destiny killers and dream assassinators is not going to help you, because in short order, they're going to put their fear and their negativity into what you believe, what you feel in your heart of hearts you're being called to do, and then your dream falls flat. So in a nutshell, that's it. When you identify the dream, figure out how it adds value to the marketplace, to those around you. Number two, get a plan of action, a clear, distinct blueprint of where you're going to go. If you don't know how to create a plan, reach out to an expert that can help you to do it. And number three, surround yourself with the right people with the right mindset. It might sound cliche, like you've heard that all the time, but that's one of the tips that never grows old, right? In that same book, Think and Grow Rich, that she's telling you about, Napoleon Hill went to somebody to say, what are the secrets to success? And he said, go and interview all the people who have been successful. That's how we have the stories of Henry Ford, of Colonel, who did KFC, and all these other people, the guy who started up US Steel, which is now probably American Steel Company. All of these stories were there because they were willing to learn. He was willing, Napoleon Hill, to learn from successful people who have gone ahead of him.
And the thing is that it's not just about information, right?
No, that's why I talked about the plan of action.
Application, right?
Yep.
It's about application, what she's saying. And, here are a couple of things that even Theta Healing can help with, but you do need accountability.
Yep.
And that's why she's talking about the group. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people, and this is the thing that they say. Well, like they're sharing an idea with people who they know are negative. It's like, why did you do that? They know that these people can't support them, yet they share it in order for them to question it and doubt it themselves. Right? So you're creating that instead of sharing it with somebody who is like, like I always say this, my sister I'm very fortunate to have a sister who, and I only have one, who has been my biggest supporter my whole life. She's the reason
I wish I had that.
Right. Exactly. And she's the one who encouraged me. It was her idea for me to become an entrepreneur. Thanks, Bonnie. And, that's
so
the thing,
sweet.
that she believed in me. And she's like, why are you making other people money? That was her big question. Why are you making other people money?
Wow.
And I was like,
that's powerful.
Absolutely. And I always know, right? So I know, even if I just have one person, and again, if anybody knows my sister, she's not going to blow any sunshine up your butt, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
She's a straight shooter. But she believes in me.
And that's something that kind of is like, it's like having somebody who supports you and believes in you. It's almost like you're floating, because it's like somebody's behind your back. Not that you necessarily need the person
right
to push you to the level that you need to go or to get you to do stuff, but it makes it that much easier to go through the processes and the challenges that comes with being a business owner, or with even trying to generate wealth different than everybody else is doing, which the typical way is to have a job.
Absolutely. And this is the thing too that I just want to say as well. And Rosanne, because I don't know why it just comes, I feel like there's maybe somebody here that needs to hear this. There's no shame when you first start out to have a little part-time job, right?
No.
To be able to support you while you're doing this, because we need to know that we can be able to cover like our bills.
That's right.
And the money that we're making in our business, pour it back into our business. Right? There's usually in some way when you're doing a launch, when you're, starting a new project, when you're doing something, or a new business, right? There's nothing wrong with making sure you got a little income, because that just relieves the stress, and it allows you to come from an objective place on what's my best steps in my business. What's my best step.
That's correct. And I just want to add to that, because from one of the programs I do is, how to help you to move from your job to your CEO lifestyle. And so I've always said, this is one of the things I share with the persons that I mentor and stuff as well, which is that your job, having a job doesn't mean that you're less of a person because you're not an entrepreneur. The job is the fuel, the gift that you've been given to fund your dream. This business that I'm doing now, I started it out, the tools that I started out with was with money from my job, right? So what I usually tell persons, it doesn't mean that you can't have a job. If you're not comfortable in the job and that's not what set your soul on fire, then you need to move into something else that would give you more freedom. But the job is basically a way for you to be able to get to make that dream happen. So there's nothing wrong with doing both, because and as Brenda rightly said, because a lot of mistakes that a lot of people make why they fail in business, because most businesses close within their first 1 to 5 years of business, right? They don't make it past the 5-year marker. The reason being because they jumped into business thinking that the business would make $1 million by tomorrow with just a great idea and a plan and maybe some support, but it doesn't work like that. It's a process, right? No, when they move into business, what you need to have is the peace of mind knowing that your basic expenses are taken care of. And that was one of the things that I wish I had known before, which is why I tell people now, if you're going to leave your job to go and do full-time entrepreneurship, please make sure that you have at least 1 year's worth of your basic operational expenses saved and put down so that you can focus on the business. Because as Brenda said, you're going to need to invest in the business. You're going to need to probably invest in mentors and coaches, marketing, websites, all the different things to set up to develop the business to allow you to have a platform to serve from. That costs money. Plus, you need to eat. Your gas bill, your electricity bill, your food bill, internet,
Day-to-day
everything needs to be
expenses.
paid.
Mhm.
Right? And it can be expensive. So that needs to be dealt with. So if you work part-time and do the business, nothing is wrong with that. I used to do that before I went
Oh, I know.
full-time.
People always say that to me. Well, I have a part-time job, and I'm like, smart, good for you. And this is
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I'll expand on it just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect time to start a business is when you're collecting unemployment.
Yep.
Okay. So, this is, people are always like, oh, I lost my job and, there are no jobs out there. Then, what's your dream?
Yeah.
What
What
do you want to,
gifts
what
do
do you
you
want to
have?
create? What do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is why during a recession, more millionaires are made
Yes.
because people, again, looked at their cup being half full.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know somebody who needs to hear this? Tag them,
Share.
share this, let them know this. Let's give
Mm-hmm.
them some hope. Let's give them some, let's give them a little bit of breadcrumbs here to feed on to, again. And the thing is that I think one of the biggest things, and again, we'll do a little work on it later, as Roseanne's talking about, is that, again, you're going to make some mistakes because
Yeah.
we can't help as human beings to not react. Now, theta healing helps people become more objective, but in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, before we find theta healing, we do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we have to just forgive ourselves and know that what was going on at that time. We have to do that in relationships as well, in every area of our lives.
Yeah, and personally too, because one of the biggest things, which I know you're probably going to do when you deal with the theta healing, is one of the biggest reasons why people don't actually achieve their goals and their dreams, is because personally they're holding themselves guilty for something that happened. And they haven't released themselves to be free to receive what the world is ready to offer them in the multiple ways, because it can come in money, it can come resources, it can come in help. Sometimes it comes in some of the most unorthodox ways. So we have to first understand how to forgive ourselves before we can forgive other people. Receive or relieve ourselves from the guilt of whatever happened, and then be free to receive.
Absolutely. And theta healing is absolutely the best way to do that. And I will also say, too, right? People always want to say, like, we've made mistakes or we made mistakes in other ways. It's, you know what? You're human.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's not a reason, or you're not being punished to not be able to have a business. The only
Mm-hmm.
person who's punishing you is you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I work with clients, it's so funny that Roseanne brought this up. They put, like, I'll tell them to make a forgiveness list and they'll forgive everybody else and they'll forget about themselves, which
Yeah.
is why I put another component in there, said in a different way so that
Mm-hmm.
people can get back to it being about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, for sure. So let's see. The next question I have for you, Miss Roseanne, is why do people settle for less than they're worth?
Because it's easier. it's easier because
Dead
in
silence
all
here. That's so true.
and there's a reason why I just paused after I said that, because I kind of want it to sink in. Like naturally, we gravitate to what is easier and what is comfortable. Success is not comfortable. For you to have success, you have to challenge yourself daily to get up and do the thing that makes you uncomfortable. I put out a post on my Facebook page the other day. It may also be on some of the other social media platforms I have, and it said this, that the difference between me and somebody else who you see successfully achieving their goals is not that sometimes when we're not doing some of the things, we're not scared. We just know that we have something that would add value to other persons. And even if it means going out there with your insides quaking and your legs shaking and not quite sure how it's going to be received, we get up and go out and deliver to the best of our ability, right? And then leave it there. We will release the expectation and the fear and everything else that comes with, oh, I wonder if they're going to like me. I wonder what they're going to say. Are they going to think I'm stupid? And it's not that we didn't have the fears, but we learned that in order for us to be successful, we had to overcome that process. So Brenda and I wouldn't be here if I wasn't adept at overcoming fear. And also not and being willing to do what was not comfortable, even while I might be going through personally a period of discomfort in my life, right? I know phenomenally successful people who have sicknesses like lupus and cancer and or who are going through a divorce or something like that, but they're willing to challenge themselves to go to the next level that was not comfortable. And that's simply it. Like we settle for less because this is what I'm accustomed to. This is how my mama did it. This is how my papa did it. This is how my sister, my brother did it. My friends, everybody is doing this, right? I remember when I just moved, I'm living in St. Anne now. When I just moved to St. Anne, a lot of my friends were saying, why are you moving away from Kingston, which for Jamaica, that's the prime capital of our country. And that's where, you know, most of the success or business might happen. But no, I got a vision that this is where I need to be because what I'm doing, there's not a lot of people doing it here. So there's a very deep need for what I'm doing on this side of the island. The point is, most people would not have answered the call. And the truth is, Brenda, I've had the most success since I've been here. People might think, oh no, you're moving to the country. No, it's the tourist capital. It's one of the major tourist areas on Jamaica, right? On the island. So the point is, we settle for less because it's easier. Striving for more means that I will have to do the self work, the inner work to become a better person, to overcome my life. If I decide that I deserve love and I deserve peace and I deserve happiness, I deserve wealth and abundance, it means that I have to be willing to do things differently. I must be willing to save. I must be willing to see where I can make more money. Instead of saying I can't afford something, I say, okay, how can I afford it? What
Right.
can I do to afford it? If I need to invest in that program and that program is going to push me to the next level, what can I do to afford it? Can I sell something that I have that I don't really need now? Can I do without a sofa or something else? Maybe, and I'm not going to joke, like sleep on the ground. Like literally when I just moved here, I bought an airbed. I bought a bunk bed for my kids. I bought an airbed and I slept on an airbed for myself for a couple months until I could buy my own bed. Right? So this is the point of the matter. What are you willing to be uncomfortable and to lose some things so that in the short term you
Right.
will be able to do better things, right? More things, which maybe probably buy an entire bedroom set, buy yourself, upgrade your car, buy your own house. What is it? So mediocrity is for those who want the easy way. If you want more, you
You
got to
have to
do
bank on that.
more,
And
right?
this is the thing, like, right? Like, woo, like we're all like, preach, Roseanne. This is the thing, guys, and that's the deal. That's why being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. Because there is not, you have to be in it for the long run and you have to be willing to make the sacrifices. But even more than that, because people are used to doing without. I mean, let's face
Yep.
it. This is the thing. Like we have these fears, and it's like, you're for most of us, right, unless you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, have
Mhm.
learned, put yourself through college, or, shared, like, you hear about these actors, that are in New York that are sharing an apartment with 16 people or whatever. They're doing because they're
Crazy.
following their dream. And
Mhm.
and that's the thing too, is that, what I will say is that, and I know Rosanne has her own story, but what people don't know about me is that I'm an introvert.
Mhm.
And to start off as an entrepreneur, like when I did trade show sales, I just had to talk to crowds, which is hard when you're an introvert, but it's okay, right? Because you're
Yeah.
not really having to, you can just like, kind of compartmentalize and do it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But, but having to go to networking events, having to talk to people about me and my business, that wasn't a place of
Not
comfort for
easy.
me. It wasn't
Mm.
easy. In fact, I used to say, thank God I had Theta Healing, because I would go to a networking event and then come home and then just have to do some work and have to take a nap because it was so stressful. But I had to
Yeah.
stretch. I had to be willing to do it.
To
Do I
grow.
like being on video? No, I don't. I don't,
Yeah.
not at all.
Mhm.
If I want to be able to have a greater reach, if I want to be able to give information that I think that I know, that I know that I know,
Yeah.
and I think that everybody else knows, but they don't, kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of
Yep.
thing,
Yep. Yep. And
it's
I
like I have to be
understand.
willing to do this.
Mhm. Mhm. And I understand exactly what you're saying, because people sometimes see the success that you have now and think that you started out perfect. When I tell people all the time that, listen, I walked away from a cult sect church at 23 years old. That meant leaving my father, my mother, my brothers, and my sister. And I'm out here in the world on my own. Well, now I have my kids and, my husband and stuff, and friends. But it means I do not have the support that other persons have, or the comfort of knowing I can just drop the kids at my mom to get certain things done, which means I have to pay somebody to help me to look after my family, right? That's a sacrifice, right? No, it's not that I haven't been through my share of challenges. When I first started this business, I mean, I worked for corporate for 14 years. I was successful in network marketing business and other businesses that I did on the side, but not on my own. I made a lot of money working for other corporate companies, giving them the systems and the strategies and doing international negotiations for them. But I've never done that on my own. So when I started this business, I was like, who's going to pay me? Who's going to believe that I'm a business consultant, a certified global business consultant that can help them? So at first, you know what? I left a lot of money on the table because I didn't charge what I was worth.
We all do that.
Because I didn't
Alert.
believe that it was possible until I had a client, and if she sees this, she'll tell you the truth, who came to me and is like, when you first told me your fees, I was willing to pay you 10 times the amount. And I kicked myself in the butt and I said, never again. But what was that speaking? That was my fear. That was my lack of belief that I wasn't worth more. I didn't have a sister like you had a sister to believe in me, right? God sent other people along the way, along the journey. God sent other people who would tell me what they saw in me so that I started to believe it. And then I would get dreams and visions of myself speaking on stages, when I was seeking about where do I go next. Because my story was that I was in jobs, but I would find myself in between jobs for like a year outside of a job with no money and figuring out, okay, anytime along the road in life, I find myself without, it means I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to do. And then in seeking, that's when he would reveal to me that no, you're called to do your own business, to have, a women's movement, to preach, to speak to people, to use your testimony and your story and your expertise to benefit other person's lives through the own platforms that I'm going to give you, to create your own platforms. And then you collaborate with other people. No, that wasn't something that was easy to do. So I completely understand what you're saying. And what Brenda and I are saying on this today is that these are the shifts that you need to make if you want to do more. It's fine if you want to stay home and stay in a hole. Media, I hated media. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want to go on the TV because it meant I couldn't walk in the street like a normal person again without person saying, see her there? It was she that was on the TV, right? I remember doing an interview one day and I went into a place to pay a bill. And the lady goes, that's the lady that was on the TV this morning. And I'm like, shoot. Like, I just want to be a normal person. I don't want to be on TV. But if being on video or on TV or on the radio is going to save someone's life, then I'll do it.
Make a difference, change their lives, allow them to know that they can do it as well. And Rosanne is absolutely one of those people for sure.
And
And
so
you know,
is
and that's
Brenda.
you know, that's the thing. We all have reasons to not do it.
Yeah.
And you can either buy into it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So here's our final question. I feel like we just did a game show. Here's the final question. Because oh my God, I please rewatch this, guys, because this is amazing. So what have you done consistently, you know, to achieve your dreams, despite, you know, when we were talking about those bumps in the roads, the challenges, you know, life happens type stuff?
So consistently what I've done is not quit. Keep moving. Keep moving. And I'll just share a little story around that because sometimes the story kind of makes persons connect more. When I was writing my book, which is actually what made my business become known on this global level, like my own company now, and consulting with clients worldwide, helping them to birth and monetize their dreams. And I'm just from a little small island called Jamaica. And I'm touching people's lives in America, in Germany, in France. I mean, my first book was bought in Australia, all over the world. The point is, I remember that just before we were about to publish the book, I worked for 2 months writing that book after I knew that that was what I was supposed to do, with 2 or 3 hours of sleep for 2 months straight. At that time, I couldn't pay any nanny, so I would look after my kids during the day. I had 2 children at the time. I would work on the business so after I'd spend some time with my husband and the kids, I would get up while they were still sleeping at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd work straight back to 6 o'clock. When they got up, give them breakfast, send them off to school and work, and I'd continue working on my dreams, right? Which was this book and streamlining the systems for my business. Now, I didn't realize that I was running my body into the red until I got up one morning and my legs collapsed from under me. I couldn't do what I would usually do, which would be go to the bathroom for my morning routine, like, you know, the cleansing part, other than the motivational part. Then I tried to go to the bathroom, I still couldn't go. So there was no feeling in my legs, it just completely went. This is when the book is about to be launched, and I had already started this business. And I remember I told my husband to go and get, a pregnancy test because I'd missed my period. I didn't even realize, but then it came to me. But then when I found out, I did the test, it was positive. The doctor said they didn't see any reason why I should not be able to walk. I had this excruciating back pain, but it turns out the reason why was because I was pregnant and I didn't know. And so I wasn't getting enough rest. Now I faced 2 decisions there. I could have shut down my business and stopped the book launch process that was running. Okay? It was already running. I had already pre-sold books. And I could have just called everything quits and waited until I was well to start back. But I was like, no. People from Australia, Canada, the UK, and the USA have bought this book. And we've told them it's going to be launched by the 1st of November, 2015. And I'm like, okay, I have people's money, so I can't not quit now. So this is what I can do. I can operate, I can still do the tweaks because the systems were already set up. This is the importance of having systems in your business. I can do the systems from my smartphone in bed because I was now by the doctor told you have to go rest. I'll put the business on pause till I heal. and I'll continue the campaign to sell the book. Now that book, I'm still earning from. I'm still booking high paid speaking engagements from that book. That book got me in the media. That book got people saying, okay, so what else do you do? That book became an international women's movement that raises awareness on domestic violence globally. Now, the point is, what could I have done? I had every reason to quit. I miscarried twins shortly thereafter. The pregnancy didn't last, right? But the point is, I could have quit and I didn't. Nobody knew that's what I was going through behind the scenes. Okay? And for every challenge that has come up, what do? I get still and I say, okay, this is the problem that's happening. What can I continue doing? What has to stop? What can I continue doing? Right? And so most people, you share the analogy of the man that was 30 feet from goal. Most people quit when they're just about to succeed. They're just about to get that $1 million contract. They're just about to get that new client. They're just about to get the promotion, but they leave the job. Okay? They're just about to be able to get the money to be able to buy that house because it needed one more client, one more payment, or one more, amount from in your savings account to get it. But then no, you gave up. You used the money instead on something frivolous, something you did, but you quit. And that's the biggest mistake you can make, is to quit or to stop. Now, it don't mean you don't take a break and get some rest if you need to. But the thing is, when it comes to your dreams, it's and something you shared earlier, Brenda, when you were speaking, was we don't have to see the whole way. I've never had the whole way. I've gotten dreams and visions which were an insight on the path I needed to go. Okay? But I never saw the whole way. I never had all the money. Right? I've never had all the money. And so the point is, when we think we have to quit, we lose out on opportunities.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely. I know. Like, think on that one.
That's
That's
it.
the thing, is that your faith has to be greater than your fear.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, I really have been, being made aware of this as well myself. And understanding that, I feel like, again, I'm stretching a lot. I'm getting ready to do a 5-day challenge. I've never done anything like this. And just the whole preparation and everything around that has been really different for me. I mean, I've worked by word of mouth for years and I've done it really well, right? That's the deal. But to go into online and really stretch and have the system set up and everything, like what Rosanne's talking about, I wouldn't be able to do this if I wasn't working with somebody, because I don't know anything about this. But it is stretching me, and it is really, I'm seeing, in that next level of up leveling, why I hadn't done it until now.
Yeah, because you needed this to go to the next level.
And right, I needed to find the right person. I needed the right system. I needed the right team. And I just needed to be in the right place,
Yeah, right space.
And the right space.
Space with the right people.
Absolutely. And then it just, and again, and it's been beautiful. So let's do a little bit of work, and then Rosanne's going to have some exciting other things to tell you about. But, really, I always say, people can tell me how they think and how they feel. What you create in your life is what you believe. And we hold that on a cellular level. So there's a lot of great, I always say there are many roads to get where we want to go. I personally like the quick, easy, and painless way, which is
who
why
doesn't like the quick, easy, painless? We all do.
Well, some people, but this is the deal, Rosanne, is that a lot of people are used to life being hard, or they're used to, they're used to like feeling like that they're being a lot of times, like, we look at things and like, it's like, am I being punished with that, or am I being pushed Is it inspiring me or is it
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's, God's not hanging out, again, whoever you believe in, I happen to believe in God, but God's not hanging out going, well, let's just test her. No, it's like, let her see her greatness or his greatness.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and it's not like, well, I have to prove how bad I want it. No, it's none of that, right?
Mm-mm.
So we want to get rid of those things that are attracting those experiences to us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we go beyond the conscious and the subconscious mind. We change it on a cellular level through theta healing, and then our thoughts, our emotions follow. But what also happens is that we attract opportunities, we attract the right people that mirror
Ooh.
who we've become, what we want. So always make sure that you have 3 beliefs in place before we do anything, as a student as well as a client. I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. So if you would like those, and again, if you're watching the replay, you'll get all of this work. So again, tag, share, let people know about this. Um, and so I have my lovely featured guest here, Miss Rosanne, who will cue you on that. So if you'd like those 3, right? I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. Just say yes out loud. Cue them, Rosanne.
Yes. Most definitely. For sure.
Let's forgive ourselves for having fear. Let's forgive ourselves for being human. And again, when you do this with theta healing, it's in a cellular level. So even if you're like, oh, I've worked on that, you haven't done it with theta healing. So just say yes, okay, when the time comes. Let's also forgive whoever's your divine power for maybe feeling like that you were forgotten or that you were forsaken or that, there wasn't anything for you type thing. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what we've created. And then let's also forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made in our choices. Let's forgive ourselves for the choices that we've made that maybe took us off course, but it's your decision whether or not it takes you off course forever, or it's your decision whether or not you have to have it stop you dead in your tracks. So let's forgive ourselves for all of those. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, ma'am. Hello?
So let's also forgive ourselves. Oh no, not forgive. Let's change, right? What prevents us from accepting change, right? Because it's like, what is it? The only constant that we have in our lives is change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
That's
let's forgive,
definitely true.
let's change what prevents us from accepting change with grace and ease, right? Let's not do it kicking and screaming. Let's look at it, and let's also change what prevents us from recognizing the gifts and lessons that come with change. Let's also change what prevents us from being flexible. So maybe you thought you were going to do one thing and, then you decided to do another, or you did one thing and it didn't work. So you need to come up with another, we have to have flexibility in what we do. And then we'll do those and then we'll have one last one. Okay. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
I remember one time I heard a very successful coach say, you cannot expect others to invest in you what you are unwilling to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So let's change what prevents us from investing in ourselves. And let's change what prevents us from from not being willing to recognize the investments that we need to make. And then let's also change what obligates, which means we don't have a choice, what obligates us to have short-term vision. You got to be in it for the long run. You've got to be able to see the big picture. So let's change what prevents us from seeing the big picture. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rosanne, tell us what we need to know, how to get in touch with you, what you got coming up on the bend here. Tell us.
Okay, so what we have is a phenomenal collaboration with myself and the beautiful Miss Brenda Bailey here. What Brenda just did, for those of you who may be wondering, especially on my platform, who's never experienced this before, was that she was leading us through the process of removing the things that are the blockages from us succeeding and moving to our next level. So she was talking about forgiving ourselves and being okay with not getting things done in a particular way, right? So one of the things that I am good at is helping you to figure out what systems and strategies. Can I share my screen, Brenda? So they can see.
Let's see. I believe you can. Can you share it?
Yeah, I'm trying. Let me know if you're seeing it.
It's saying,
yeah.
saying you
so,
have screen sharing.
All right. So we have partnered together for the Global Monetizer Wealth Intensive, which some of you may have been seeing advertised on this page before, right? Because the Global Monetizer Wealth Intensive is actually a program that I have that will help you how to learn how to monetize your global vision and birth it, right? With all the systems and strategies and accountability that you need in 90 days. Now, originally, we weren't going to open back this program. We did the beta test. We started it in August, I think, no, September. And we decided we weren't going to open back another one until January. However, I met Brenda. And one of the things I realized is that a lot of people get the systems, they buy a lot of courses, they invest in a lot of programs, but they do not actually get the results that they want to achieve. So they have dreams and they have goals, but they don't achieve them because they're like this lady saying, what do I do next? They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. They have dreams of being on their laptop, traveling and working from the beaches of the world, working from Hawaii, getting their global vision out there in the business, but they have absolutely no idea what next to do with their big idea. All right. So with this program, what we did, I said, okay, if Brenda is here helping us to remove the blockages, then Brenda's like, why not? Let's try this for November so we can help persons not try, do this, not try. We don't try, we do. Do this for November so that we can help more persons to get started with 2021 correctly. So we have partnered together. Not only are you going to get my 20 years of international business management experience and eyes and ears on what we want to do, my genius, right? But also Brenda's genius. Brenda has over 28 years of experience in business. She's a 7-figure business earner. And you will have her experience as well as her ThetaHealing program to help you to burst forth into everything that God has called you to be and all that He's created you to be. Listen, wealth and abundance can be yours. Peace, happiness, joy, and love can be yours. We're not saying it's going to be perfect, but it can be yours. So this is the thing. Do you have an idea or a solution that you want to use to transform the world? Right? Do you want to take your product, your service, and your expertise and your experiences to people in other countries, island-wide, worldwide, sorry, I'm accustomed to saying island-wide, but have no idea what strategies and systems to put in place to get this done? And if you're somebody who has taken several programs to earn money, but still have not increased your bank account, which most people do because they're in their own way and their success is limited, because of the internal barriers that they have to their success. All right. This is why I decided to collaborate with Brenda for the Global Monetizer Wealth Intensive to ensure that you don't just increase your income, but you maximize your highest earning potential. So, what is the Global Monetizer Wealth Intensive? It's a 90-day online business intensive, which will give you the 5-step blueprint using our iFlow system to monetize your global vision. What you're going to do with that, learn how to crack your wealth code and monetize your vision in 90 days. So what some of the things you'll learn is how to align yourself internally and externally with your purpose, how not to have to limit your success, how to get out of your own way, how to create a global strategic vision and execution blueprint that will get results, how to lucratively leverage your genius, and how to make more money in a shorter space of time and attract high quality, wealthy clients worldwide. So sleepless nights no longer have to be yours. Lack of clarity, personal health, brokenness, pain, crime, because you can't live the fulfilling lifestyle that you deserve doesn't have to be yours. Okay? So I'm going to show you how I move from pain to purpose in my life. The same system that I used to turn my book into a global business and become a trusted public figure and expert globally, I'm going to share with you. Brenda is going to share her experience in becoming a 7-figure business earner. She'll show you what mistakes to avoid. All right. All our experience in entrepreneurship to help you to release the traumas of past experiences, break down the barriers that you need to heal, and get into your true zone of genius so that you can serve the people who need your gifts and make lots of money doing it. All right. So you can go to befreemarketing.com/business to learn more about that. You'll just scroll down to the apply button right here and click to join us. So Brenda and I will be there to serve you every step of the way. Not only will we be there to serve you, you'll be able to network, right? Also, one of the things I needed to share is what you'll be getting with it. You'll be able to network with all the other women who are in the program, right? So first you're going to have a 3-hour iFlow masterclass where we're going to walk you through the steps of what the iFlow system is. And you're going to have weekly 1-hour group sessions, 2 sessions with me, 2 sessions with Brenda each month, because it will be a 3-month program for 90 days. You will have private accountability networking and a support group that will support you during the process. So you can come and put your ideas in the group, brainstorm, get the ideas and feedback of other persons. So it's like having your own market for yourself before you have to launch your product or your brand or your idea out to the public. So you can get real feedback in real time from people testing what it is that you're going to put in the market, how people will relate to it, so that when you put it out there, it will definitely succeed. You'll get workbooks and guides and emails and resources that will help you to follow up and to actually get your dream birthed and monetized, right? So this is not a joke. Like, guys, this is the system that I used to turn my business into what it is today. And all I used was just my story. So a lot of you have a lot of genius.
Absolutely. And the one thing, what I'll also add to that as well is that the availability of not just one person, but 2, and that you will meet with one of us once a week for that price. Shop around. You will not see anything like this for the price of what you get, one, as far as information, but also the accountability and the availability of the coaches, of the instructors in this. So I get that this is one of those programs that if you're willing to stretch a little bit and invest, because again, I heard somebody say, if it doesn't hurt a little bit, right? So she said that and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really like that. But if it doesn't stretch you or make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, because if we feel uncomfortable, guess what? We'll be like, oh no, I'm not going to invest in that kind of money and not get my money's worth. And this is
well, you're going to make way more than you're investing, because you're investing. This is going to be $3,600 US, but you're going to be making way more than that, because we're showing you how to create signature program, high-level premium programs, and how actually to make more money in a shorter space of time on autopilot. So go ahead. Just wanted to put that in.
So one thing that I'm going to tell y'all that is really kind of funny. This was not planned. Like I put Rosanne like in my feed to be, in fact, I had somebody that had to, get a different date, like to come and do the co-live. And I was like, oh, Rosanne, do you want to slot into this? And she was like, sure. And then not because of that, but it's the thing, like, what are the opportunities that come in? How does this come together?
Mm-hmm.
What is happening? And saying yes. And there's no mistakes in how things work out.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing as well that I will tell you. I'm doing a 5-day challenge starting on Monday.
Yeah.
So one, if you want to know about my genius, if you want to know what I can do for you in 5 days, much less than 3 months, come join the challenge. It's under Wealth 5 Acceleration. It's Facebook, just Wealth. I'll have it in the post as well, but also just look it up, Wealth 5 Acceleration. And we'll be starting the challenge on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really going to get you used to having some accountability, doing a little bit of homework, being in a group, watching a video or watching it live and asking questions. You're going to understand the value of that. So you saying yes to the program? Want to get a little pre-work done? Come join me. If you're not sure you want to do the program, come join me. So we can, what we're doing is we are activating your inner money magnet. That's what the challenge is. So to get you into that, start you off on the right foot, it's a great place to be.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions or anything like that, as I always say, I have chatwithbrendab.com. Pick the 30-minute option. Want to know about Rosanne? Want to know about the program? Want to know about ThetaHealing? What do you want to know about? If I'm not the person for you, again, you see all the cool people that I bring onto this, and that's just a scratching the surface of who I know. I'm happy to let you know, if it's not me, if it's not Rosanne, I'll give you an idea of who else. So don't feel like that, oh, if I talk to her, she's going to try to sell me on something. I won't. I'll listen to what you have to say. I'll answer your questions and we're good, because knowledge is power. So, come. And I also have, you want to have another experience of what I can do? I have a draw money to you meditation. You want to be able to do this program and want to have a little extra oomph in getting that money together, or know that you'll put the deposit down and have that money keep coming? It's 1 minute. And that's on shatteryourincomeCeiling.com. So you can get that.
Well,
go look, but I'll also say go look. So tell them again, Rosanne, what's the link?
Be Free Marketing. So BFREE marketing.com/business. So go, when you go to the page, look for the Global Monetize or Wealth Intensive, because there's other services there. But I'll send you the link, Brenda, and you can put it on your
we'll
feed.
put it in the comments. Yes.
Right, we'll put it in the comments. I'll put it on the comments on my page as well.
This is what I want you to look at, though, is go to the link and see what's possible for you. See how you can present yourself to the world. Look and just go into the feel of it. Because I'm going to tell you this, no joke, Rosanne and I are invested in this. And we want people to do well. And you mean something to us. So you're not just a number. This isn't just a cookie cutter system.
And it's not just about the money.
Right. So this is, although, and I will say, money's not the most important thing, but it touches everything that is.
It answereth all things.
So come in and consider, doing the challenge. Consider getting.
And I want to add to that, for the challenge, like I'm recommending that persons join Brenda's challenge, because this is the truth. A lot of persons come to me for business strategy, and they want to attract more paying clients and increase their income in their business. But the biggest problem that I see them having is that they are blocking themselves from being able to receive the money. So a lot of times I can't give them strategy, I can't give them marketing, I can't set up a system because I'm going to set it up and they're still going to fail. So you need to do the challenge that Brenda is recommending in terms of how to activate your money magnet, because some of these things are the things that I took the personal work to do. I may not talk about it publicly, but I did the personal work to do to understand the things that need to be in place, that I need to release to be able to receive more money and to be able to up level in life. So I'm really recommending that you do the challenge, because if those blockages are not removed, you could come to us, even though she's going to be in the intensive just for this particular purpose as well, to be able to help you to deal with the internal blockages and the barriers and the subconscious beliefs and stuff that come up that block you from actually receiving what you desire. I think you also need to do the self-work, because sometimes there's layers. Not I think, I know, and I'm recommending that you do it, because sometimes there's layers of stuff that have been piled onto us for years based on how we're cultured that's blocking us. So I'm recommending everybody go and take Brenda's challenge as well, right?
Thank you. And that's the thing. It's like, it'll give you an idea of how you can be supported,
Right.
what can happen. A lot of times people will bring me in to do, like to do a session with each one of the clients that come into a program. Rosanne has created a program that allows you to have more of that support, which is brilliant. And not many people are willing to do that. So, there are some free options, there's some information to get. It's all very powerful. So, thank you for joining me. I know we started a little bit later, we're gone on a little bit more, but we're excited. And I want to remind you, I do this every Wednesday, 1 p.m. I believe it'll be Central Standard Time by next week. And we are having Elaine Hausman on, which is pretty exciting. You will love her. And she's a video expert and how to present yourself. And again, amazing accolades and experience. And we're going to be addressing, because again, on video, the changes that need to be made in order to stop the inner critic. So again, tag, like, share. And I always feel like things just keep piggybacking. And I have a YouTube channel. You can find it there if you want to watch this again, watch the replay. But I appreciate you joining us, and let us know if you have any questions. Rosanne, thank you so much again for joining me.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this, for doing the work that you do. I just want to know. Sister. Yep, I just want you to know how much we appreciate what you do. Like, sometimes we take each other for granted. So thank you so much, and I'm happy to be collaborating with you.
It's going to be great. All right,
yes,
guys.
I know it will be. Take care.
See you next week.